something that Nicole Kidman would wear in one of her like rich coastal mom roles. It's just such a cool girl knit. I love, love, love the moss green color. Hello and welcome to my Saturday morning stitch and scroll, where I talk about 5 different patterns that I have found on Ravelry this week. I have to say, I think I'm pretty good at the Ravelry algorithm. I find some really good hidden gems. And today I'm sharing 5 patterns that I'm hoping to cast on for some late August transition season knitting. I'm going to talk about 3 garments, starting with the least involved, working our way up to the most ambitious. Then I'm going to talk about a pattern that I think you could probably complete within 2 to 3 weeks. And we'll end with a pattern that you could cast on today and finish by the end of the weekend. I hope you have something cozy to drink and a project that you are loving, because we are going to jump on in and start with the first garment, which is the Toldeo Tee by Dream Knit. I've got the pattern pulled up on my laptop right here, and this t-shirt is exactly what I think of when I think of a transition season knit garment, which is that it's like a warm weather silhouette or like garment style, so a t-shirt, but in a yarn that looks visually warmer. So this is a t-shirt that's done in more of like a fuzzy looking yarn. I absolutely love that. And looking even at like the shape of the pattern, it does just feel like a slightly heavier t-shirt. It doesn't necessarily look like it would be a mid-summer, like mid-July, like right now t-shirt. You're not gonna wear this on like an 80 or 90 degree day anyways. And I think the twisted rib, like neckline, hemline, and like sleeve cuffs really contribute to that look, that more like wintry or cool weather look. Something else that caught my eye about this pattern is the shape of the sleeves. They do have a slight curve to them, almost like a barrel jean does. So if I were to knit this, I would love to use Sandnesgarn Poppy. I love, love, love the moss green color. I think it keeps that fuzzy texture that I love about the sample photos, but I think it would still allow you to breathe a little because it's a blown yarn. It also has a little bit of cotton in it, so it isn't 100% like alpaca or wool. So I really think that would be such a nice transition season yarn. When I think about patterns I would love to knit, I always think about how I would style them, and this is one that I could see being worn so many different ways. I would love it styled with denim in any color. I think a cream jean, a dark denim, all of that would be perfect. Maybe with a little ballet flat would be cute, or a sneaker. I could also see this working with a white poplin skirt and either flats or sneakers. I think that would be absolutely adorable for the transition season. And in terms of how long I think it would take me, obviously how fast or slow of a knitter you are varies person to person, but I think it would probably be a 6-ish week long project for me. So a mid-August cast on would be perfect. I would have it for the tail end of September, when we do start to drop into slightly cooler temperatures here in New York. So again, that is the Toldeo Tee by Dream Knit. Now we're gonna get into my second garment, which is one that I talked about on my TikTok a few days ago, and that is the Ural Zip Jacket by Anastasia B. Knitting. I saw this pattern on Ravelry, I wanna say it was like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I was obsessed with it. I have not been able to stop thinking about it. What really drew me to this is the collar. I love how squishy it looks. I also love the fit and shape of this jacket. It has a bit more of like a, what do you call it, like a bomber style jacket. It's just such a cool girl knit item. Not that I'm a cool girl by any means, but I could see all the cool girls in New York wearing this if it were sold at some like boutique downtown. In terms of yarn, I love the brown tweed that they have in the sample photos, so I would probably do that, but I did pull up 2 different yarns that I would consider for this. The first yarn is Knit Picks Wool of the Andes Worsted Tweed, and the 2 colors of this that I like are Farmhouse Heather, which is like a brown tweed, and Dill Heather actually is really catching my eye. I don't know if this jacket in this green tweedy yarn would be too much. or maybe it would be just right. I feel like I'm seeing a lot of this like olive green color around. I'm seeing it on Instagram, on Pinterest, on the streets. So I don't know, maybe it will be kind of on trend. Don't ask me, I am not an expert, but that's something about that dill heather green is doing it for me. And a third that I like is Welly's Weather, which is a bit more of a black. I think that would be, again, like the brown, a very timeless color choice. And then the second yarn option that I would think about is Sandnesgarn Pure Gint Tweed. I especially like the navy, the dark brown, and the light beige. So imagining that I knit this up in the brown, I would style it multiple different ways. I think obviously the first way is just like in the sample photo, a t-shirt, cream colored jeans, sneakers, maybe like Birkenstocks, a baseball cap. I'm going to do errands. That's my Sunday morning errand outfit, which has been such a theme for me this year. I really want to knit more sweatshirt replacement sweaters. So something I can grab and put on and run out the door. And I just feel a little more put together than I do when I'm wearing a sweatshirt, but it's not like over the top. So that's the first way I would wear it. Honestly, with any color denim, I really like the idea of this with any color denim and ballet flats, because I think this jacket feels to me a little more masculine, and I like the idea of pairing a girlier ballet flat with this slightly more sporty, athletic looking knit jacket. So I think those are like really the two ways I would style it. And finally, in terms of commitment for this one, I could see this being a bit more of a long-term project. I think this would take me probably 2 months, but it is knit up in a worsted weight yarn, so I think it would actually move faster than expected. I don't know. I definitely have skewed perceptions of how long it takes me to knit things, but if I were a monogamous knitter, I think I could do this in like 6 to 8 weeks. So again, that is the Ural Zip Jacket by Anastasia B. Knitting. And now we're on to my third and final garment, and when I saw this pattern, I immediately thought it was something that Nicole Kidman would wear in one of her like rich coastal mom roles, like she was in Big Little Lies or The Perfect Couple. It just seemed like a cardigan or a sweater that one of those characters would wear, and that is the Fence Gate Cardigan by Julia Marie Hegenbart. I am in love with the stitch pattern on this cardigan. I just think it is so sweet. These delicate little crossed X's throughout it, kind of like a trellis, paired with the really beautiful shawl collar. I think it is an absolutely stunning combination. Such like, I don't know, an elevated, elegant, gorgeous, gorgeous pattern. I think this pattern is great if you're looking for a cardigan that has some texture to it, but you're not wanting something cabled. I would love to knit this up in BC Garn Baby Alpaca. It comes in a ton of colors, so you would really have your pick. I probably would do more of like a fawny oatmeal-y color or a light gray. Definitely something on the lighter side that would show off the texture. However, they do have a sample photo with this like, I don't know, caramely brown color, and you can actually see the texture pretty well. And then again, thinking about how I would style or wear this, I would wear this with everything and in every possible life situation. I could see myself wearing it like over pajamas to run to the mailbox, although I live in an apartment building, but if I lived in a house, I'd wear it over my pajamas to go to the mailbox. I would wear it with jeans and a t-shirt. I would toss it on maybe with like dress pants to the office. All of the above, every situation in life, I think it's absolutely perfect. Like I really do think it's something you could wear all year round, especially if you are a Nicole Kidman character and need to go for late night walks by the beach. And in terms of how long of a commitment I think it would take me, I'm going to be very realistic with myself with this one and say 6 months. It's got a pretty small gauge. I think it's a fingering weight yarn. I would definitely need some breaks. I would 100% be non-monogamous on this one. Is that the right word? Non-monogamous? I don't know. I would be cheating on this sweater a lot. So I'm gonna say 6 months to finish this one. Probably more though, if we're being realistic. So I know I said I only had 3 garment patterns for this video, which is kind of true depending on if you would count a poncho as a garment or an accessory. I'm counting it as an accessory, and I am saying that this would take me 2 to 3 weeks to finish if I were monogamous, and that is the Summer Poncho by Tian Made. This poncho has both a summer and fall feel to it. The fringe feels very carefree and boho, which is something I associate a lot with summer, whereas the cable is a slight nod to maybe more cool weather knitting. So I think it's kind of, in a way, the best of both worlds. I have a vision of this poncho in black or a dark, dark charcoal with black bootcut jeans and black pointed toe heeled booties. You're going out to drinks with your friends in late September. You're wearing this poncho as your outerwear. That is, I don't know, that is my vision. It feels very late September in the city, going to a little wine bar, a little cocktail bar, a little girls' night out. And again, in terms of commitment, I think this could take me 3-ish weeks, but if you're a monogamous knitter, maybe 2 weeks. Let me know how long you think this would take you to knit. And finally, we have the pattern that I think could be finished in a weekend or 3 to 4 days at most, and that is the Incanto Sleeve by Ida Elvdahl. This is the ultimate cool girl knitting pattern. I know I just said the Ural jacket was a cool girl pattern, which it is, but I think this is like top of the pyramid cool girl knitting patterns because it is practical. The studs give it a little edge. They make it feel a little, I don't know, more cool girl. It's felted, which is very on trend, but also it is hand knit, and what is cooler than knitting something yourself? Nothing, if you ask me. I don't know, I think it's just a bag that I would want to wear and show off to the world. I think if I were going to do work at a coffee shop, I would toss in my laptop, maybe a notebook, some pens, my cards, and off I go. I'm carrying this bag for the world to see. It's perfect. I don't know why I've never thought to knit a laptop sleeve before, but I am absolutely going to knit this fall. It's knit up in a super bulky yarn and then felted, so again, on trend. I know there was a big felting trend last, was it December, with the sailor slippers, so if we're gonna felt things again this fall, let's felt some laptop sleeves. I don't really know what yarns felt well. I know that you need 100% non-superwash wool in order to felt, but I really don't have any ideas for specific yarns. However, I have some color ideas. I think that this would, of course, be fantastic in any color. Neutrals, obviously black, gray, white, brown, but I think that a dark, dark, warmish purple or a super dark, like oxblood red would be incredible. So if you were looking for something quick and easy to cast on today, take this as your sign that this is the pattern. I personally really need people to cast this on and make this because I need to see some projects on Ravelry. I want to see every color, every variation. I'm sure there are some very creative people out there who will think of something cool and unique to do with the studs or instead of the studs. So I don't know, I think this is one you could be super creative with. Okay, that is everything. If you are looking for any of these patterns, they are linked in the description box below in a Ravelry bundle called Summer 2026 Stitch and Scroll. And if you are looking for more knitting content or enjoyed this video, I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider subscribing. I try to post a knitting video every Wednesday, and I'm now hoping to post more of these pattern roundup videos every other Saturday. And finally, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.